Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
Is Luna Nozawa pregnant with House on the Bold and the Beautiful? Well, Spencer Jr.'s baby Ma is presently sitting in captivity, but Indeed convicts get some antenatal care. Word on the internet is that when Lisa Yamada's character heads to her first ultrasound, there could be not one but two GIFs on the examiner. Then's what's coming up next on the CBS Day show. B&B spoilers down below. Luna Nozawa eventually sees a croaker? The Bold and the Beautiful pen's timelines are always a little hinky, but Luna Nozawa should be well into her first trimester by now and presumably is many months pregnant. That means she should be due for his first ultrasound, and might indeed be far enough along to have a captivity gender reveal. Indeed, periodical killers get introductory rights to health care when they're in jail. Indeed, if the jail doesn't have Luna see a croaker soon, Bill Spencer will most probably set up some kind of medical visit. However, he can fluently pull many strings and get her a trip to the sanitarium to see a croaker or specialist if he can get Will Spencer Jr.'s baby Ma pardoned for murder. Bill could watch lower about Luna, but he's not going to let his grandchild be born unhealthy. Another Luna gestation stunner. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers allude as Luna's gestation progresses, the Spencer family will be in for another shock. Could it be that the Il Giardino killer is actually having two Spencer babies? It's been quite a while since anyone on B&B had halves, and it'll open up a whole new world of baby switching and abducting openings. Do you suppose that the rumors are true and it'll be revealed that Luna Nozawa is actually pregnant with halves? How is her baby daddy going to reply to the shocking news? The air in the Forrester mansion was thick with a fragile, almost sacred, hope. Sunlight streamed through the grand stained glass windows, casting kaleidoscopic patterns on the polished marble floor. It was a day of new beginnings, a day of blessings. In the center of the opulent living room, surrounded by family and a few cherished friends, Hope Logan held her infant son, Douglas, cradled in her arms like the most precious of treasures. Beside her, beaming with a pride that seemed to illuminate his very being, was Liam Spencer, her husband, her rock, the man she had fought through heaven and hell to call her own. Today was Douglas's baptism. But for Hope and Liam, it felt like so much more. It was a baptism of their entire family, a symbolic washing away of the pain, the betrayals, and the constant, gnawing shadow of Steffi Forrester that had loomed over their relationship for years. As the priest uttered the ancient words, anointing Douglas's forehead with holy water, Hope felt a surge of profound peace. This was it. The final piece of their puzzle. They were a complete family, sealed not just by love, but by faith and commitment. "He's perfect," Liam whispered, his hand finding the small of Hope's back, his touch a familiar anchor. "We're perfect," Hope whispered back, her eyes glistening with unshed tears of joy. Across the room, Brooke Logan watched her daughter with a heart so full it ached. She knew the torturous path Hope had walked, the hope for the future line built on her own moral compass, the endless cycle of losing Liam to Steffi, only to win him back through unwavering faith and a love that refused to be extinguished. She squeezed Ridge's hand. "Look at them, Ridge. After everything, they've finally found their peace." Ridge Forrester, a man more accustomed to corporate warfare and paternal dilemmas than sentimental moments, offered a rare, genuine smile. "They have. They deserve this. Liam's a good man. He's finally where he's meant to be." His words were a quiet benediction, a father's approval that held the weight of years of complicated history. The ceremony concluded with embraces and soft congratulations. The mood was one of a collective exhale. Even Eric Forrester, the patriarch, seemed to sense the significance of the moment, his eyes twinkling as he clapped Liam on the shoulder. A beautiful day for a beautiful family. It was in this bubble of sanctified joy that the first thread began to unravel. Encouraging words, the calm before the storm. As the guests mingled, partaking in champagne and delicate pastries, Hope and Liam found a quiet corner, a small oasis away from the well-wishers. "You know," Liam began, his voice low and intimate, "this feels like more than just Douglas's day. It feels like our day. The start of everything we've ever wanted." Hope leaned into him, resting her head on his shoulder. I was thinking the same thing. No more drama, no more outside forces trying to pull us apart. It's just us now. You, me, Douglas, and Beth. Our little family. Our little family, Liam repeated, the words a vow. And to make it official, completely and utterly official, I was thinking, it's time for us to have our wedding. The real one. The one everyone in the world will see. Not a rushed ceremony in a living room, but a celebration of everything we've overcome. I want to stand in front of everyone we know and promise myself to you, forever. Hope's breath caught in her throat. A real wedding. A public declaration of their union, a final, unequivocal stamp on their love story. It was everything she had ever dreamed of. Liam, yes. 1,000 times, yes. Let's do it. Let's have our wedding. Their moment was interrupted by Brooke and Ridge, drawn by the palpable energy of their happiness. What's this? Brooke asked, her maternal radar pinging. You two look like you're planning a coup. Liam grinned, unable to contain his excitement. Better. We're planning our wedding. The big one. We're going to do it, and we're going to do it right. Brooke's face lit up with an incandescent joy. Oh, my darlings. That's wonderful news. After all the trials, all the heartache, you deserve a fairy tale. She enveloped Hope in a tight hug. This is your time, sweetheart. This is the moment where your faith is finally rewarded. Ridge, ever the pragmatist, but with clear affection, nodded. It's the right move. You've built something strong. This wedding will be the foundation for the rest of your lives. No looking back. The encouraging words washed over Hope, reinforcing the fortress of certainty she had built around her heart. This was her support system. This was the universe, finally, aligning in her favor. They were all in agreement, the past was dead and buried. The future was a bright, untarnished road stretching out before them. But in the world of Los Angeles high society, and particularly in the spheres of the Forresters, Spencers, and Logans, the past has a vicious, tenacious habit of resurrecting itself at the most inopportune moments. The uninvited guest, a whisper of thunder. The baptismal party was beginning to wind down when the grand front door opened, and a figure stepped through, her presence instantly altering the chemistry of the room. Steffi Forrester, sleek and powerful in a tailored black dress, had arrived. She was, after all, family. She was Kelly's mother, and Ridge's daughter. Her attendance was expected, yet it sent a subtle, collective shiver through the assembled guests. Hope's smile tightened almost imperceptibly. Liam's posture straightened, a flicker of old, complicated loyalty flashing in his eyes before he consciously willed it away. Steffi, Ridge said, moving to greet her with a kiss on the cheek. I'm glad you made it. I wouldn't miss my nephew's baptism, Steffi replied, her voice smooth as silk. Her gaze swept the room, landing on the picture-perfect tableau of Hope, Liam, and Douglas. A faint, unreadable smile touched her lips. She moved toward them. Congratulations. It was a beautiful service. Thank you, Steffi, Hope said, her tone carefully neutral. She held Douglas a little tighter. Liam, ever the diplomat, stepped forward. We're glad you're here. Kelly is in the sunroom with the nanny if you want to see her. In a minute, Steffi said, her eyes locking with Liam's. There was a message in them, a silent communication that excluded Hope entirely. It was a look that spoke of shared history, of intimate knowledge, of a bond that, despite all efforts, had never been fully severed. I actually need to talk to you, Liam. It's important. Hope felt a cold knot form in her stomach. Can it wait? We were just about to make a big announcement. Steffi's gaze didn't waver from Liam. No, she said, her voice dropping, losing its social grace and gaining a sharp, urgent edge. It really can't. The atmosphere, once buoyant with champagne and blessing, suddenly felt heavy, charged with a dangerous static. Brooke, watching from a few feet away, felt a familiar dread creep into her soul. She knew that look on Steffi's face. It was the look of a woman who held a trump card. Liam, sensing the shift, frowned. Steffi, whatever it is, it can. Now, Liam, she cut him off, her tone leaving no room for argument. Alone. The encouraging words from moments before seemed to curdle in the air. Ridge's brow furrowed. Brooke took a hesitant step forward, ready to intervene, to protect her daughter's hard-won happiness. Liam, confused and now concerned, nodded. Okay. Fine. The study. He shot an apologetic look at Hope. I'll just be a minute. Hope watched them go, her heart beginning a frantic, panicked rhythm against her ribs. The perfect picture of her family, so vivid and real just moments ago, suddenly felt like a painting beginning to run in the rain. Angry threats, the bomb is armed. Inside the soundproofed walls of Ridge's study, the world outside ceased to exist. The mahogany and leather room, usually a place of business deals and paternal lectures, was now the stage for a personal cataclysm. What is so important that it couldn't wait, Steffi? Liam asked, his arms crossed. He was annoyed, still riding the high of his and Hope's plans, and resentful of this intrusion. Steffi turned to face him, her composure cracking to reveal a raw, tumultuous mix of emotions, fear, anger, and a terrifying sliver of triumph. You and Hope looked very cozy out there. Planning your future? As a matter of fact, we were. We're getting married. A proper wedding. A harsh, brittle laugh escaped Steffi's lips. A wedding? Oh, that's rich. That's absolutely perfect. What is that supposed to mean? Liam's patience was thinning. We've been through this, Steffi. You and I are over. What I have with Hope is forever. I thought you'd accepted that. Accepted it, she seethed, stepping closer. I was trying to, Liam. I was trying to move on, for Kelly's sake. But life has a funny way of changing the game. Stop speaking in riddles. What do you want? She took a deep, shuddering breath, as if steeling herself for the impact of her own words. I'm pregnant, Liam. The two words dropped into the room not like a whisper, but like a physical blow. They seemed to suck all the air out of the space, leaving a vacuum of stunned silence. Liam stared at her, his brain refusing to process the information. It was as if she had spoken in a foreign language, the syllables familiar but the meaning incomprehensible. What? He finally managed, the word a choked gasp. You heard me. I'm pregnant. And before you ask, yes. It's yours. The world tilted on its axis. Liam stumbled back, bracing himself against Ridge's desk. Memories, fragmented and damning, flashed through his mind. A moment of weakness weeks ago. A fight with Hope, a bottle of whiskey, Steffi's comforting, understanding presence. It had been a mistake, a blurry, regret-filled night he had vowed to forget, convinced it was a meaningless slip he could bury forever. He had been wrong. Horribly, catastrophically wrong. No, he whispered, shaking his head. No, that's not possible. It was one time. It only takes one time, Liam, Steffi said, her voice softening now, laced with a manipulative pity. This is our reality now. You and I are going to have a baby. The implications began to crash down on him like waves against a doomed shore. Hope. Their wedding. Douglas and Beth. The beautiful, perfect future he had just been envisioning, it was all dissolving into ash. Hope, he breathed, his face pale. She can't know. Steffi, you can't tell her. Not now. Not ever. Steffi's eyes flashed with fury. Not tell her? Are you insane? I'm carrying your child. This isn't some secret I'm going to hide in the shadows. This baby deserves a father. Kelly deserves her father present in her life, and in her sibling's life. And you will have that. I will be there for this child, I swear to you. But you don't have to destroy everything to make that happen. I'm not destroying anything, Liam. You did that the moment you came to me. This is the consequence of your actions. Our actions. You don't get to have your perfect little life with Hope while I'm left raising another one of your children alone. Her words were laced with the venom of past grievances. The endless tug-of-war over Liam's soul was entering its most brutal phase yet. This will kill her, Steffi, Liam pleaded, desperation clawing at his throat. You know what Hope has been through. You know what we've built. If you tell her this, it will shatter her. It will shatter us. Steffi advanced on him, her finger jabbing into his chest. There is no us for you and Hope anymore. Don't you get it? The moment I conceived your child, your future with her ended. That wedding you're so happily planning? It's a fantasy. It's not going to happen. You don't know that, he argued, though his voice lacked all conviction. I do know that, she shouted. Because I am not going to stand by and watch you pledge your life to another woman while I carry your baby. I will not be a secret, and my child will not be a dirty little secret. Either you tell her, Liam, or I will. This was the angry threat, the ultimatum that would detonate the bombshell. It was no longer a private piece of information, it was a weapon, and Steffi was holding it to the head of his relationship with Hope. You're giving me no choice, he said, his voice hollow. You had a choice, she fired back, her tone glacial. You made it weeks ago. Now you have to live with it. So, what's it going to be? Do you break the heart of the woman you claim to love, or do I do it for you? The fallout, a wedding built on a fault line. Back in the main hall, the party had officially ended. The guests had departed, leaving only the immediate family. Hope was helping Brooke gather empty glasses, a forced smile on her face as she tried to quell the anxiety gnawing at her. What could Steffi possibly have to say to Liam that was so urgent? When the study door finally opened, the answer was written plainly on Liam's ashen, shattered face. He looked like a man who had just witnessed his own execution. Steffi emerged behind him, her expression a mask of grim satisfaction. She didn't look at Hope. She simply collected Kelly and, with a final, meaningful glance at Liam, swept out of the mansion. The heavy door clicked shut, and the sound echoed in the now silent hall. Liam? Hope's voice was small, frightened. What's going on? What did she want? Brooke and Ridge moved closer, a united front of concern. Liam looked at Hope, and the love and guilt warring in his eyes was a terrifying sight. He opened his mouth to speak, but no sound came out. How do you utter the words that will obliterate the light in the eyes of the person you love most? Liam, you're scaring me, Hope insisted, her hands beginning to tremble. He took a step toward her, his own hands shaking. Hope, my God. There's something I have to tell you. The encouraging words from earlier, this is the foundation for the rest of your lives, no more drama, your faith is finally rewarded, now rang in her ears like a cruel, mocking taunt. She could see the truth coming, a tidal wave of despair she was powerless to stop. The baptism, a day meant to signify purity and a new start, had become the launching pad for the very thing that would destroy them. The pregnancy bombshell was no longer a secret confined to a study, it was a living, breathing entity of destruction, poised to annihilate Hope and Liam's wedding, their family, and their future, completely. The ceremony was over. The real storm was just beginning.